Welcome back. You are now watching We Talking Sports.
I got Trey Love, D-Jack. I'm 5'6", and we here today to talk sports. We talking everything going on, professional, collegiate, amateur, as long as it's sports. We're talking it. We want you to talk with us. Give us a call here, 216-402-1315. Join in the conversation if you know what you're talking about. So, talking sports. A lot of stuff going on this week. A lot of stuff. Some of the stuff is actually bleeding in from last week. You know, there's another chapter to Sha'Carri Richardson and her situation because they decided not to put her on the relay team off that failed marijuana test when her suspension will be up, and she actually could have been put on that team, but they decided not to. What do you think about that?
Well, in my opinion, and let's take out the whole weed versus it shouldn't have been, weed is legal, because according to the Olympics, this is not a United States rule. This is a rule. So if she was in Poland and she smoked weed, she wouldn't be eligible. So I think it's okay. So her being off the relay team, even though it would have failed within that 30-day window. Okay, I get that part. But I think that we need to realize that Sha'Carri Richardson is a role model. And there are girls in this country, 14, 15 years old, who look up to her. And, if you just say, oh, it's just a little weed, we're going to bend the rules or we're going to do whatever. And, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you did the crime and you have to do the time. And, it would be a bigger story if she waits until the next Olympics 4 years from now. What is it? Actually 3.5, because I think it's 2026 or something like that. I don't know when it is. But what I'm saying is that, and then she comes back and she stays a top athlete and then she wins gold. That would be something more for a 14-year-old who will be, 18 at that point?
Well,
I guess I look at it from that perspective.
I buy what you're saying as far as a rule, or at least I respect that. The whole role model aspect of it, to be honest with you, I think the fact that she did smoke weed makes her more of a role model because it makes her more of what most young people do. And, I think the numbers support that most young people at some point at least try marijuana. And then on top of that, the way that she responded and she handled it once she found out she had failed the test in terms of, just taking accountability for it. I think all of that makes her even more of a role model. And hopefully she will stay engaged in the sport where at the next Olympics, she will be able to compete and still be at the top of it. And, the thing about it is this ties so much into what we talked about last week with NLI, name, likeness, image, because she is a high-profile athlete. And, yeah, she's not going to be able to go to the Olympics.
For the last 15 minutes. She's only been a high-profile athlete for about a month.
That's
so she's
all it takes.
That's true.
That's all it takes. She's an LSU student. She's at this point a household name. Come on, endorsements.
So,
see you in the World Games next summer. You know what I'm saying? Because
so in no way do I want to sound anti-her. Anti. I don't want to. I'm not that. I'm a cheerleader. I'm hoping that she takes this and do well and become great. So I don't want to back myself in a corner of I'm anti-her. I'm not. But I am just as, again, I've only known who she was for a month. So I am just as much of a fan of her as I am the girl who's going to take her place on the 4x100 relay. That's probably a black girl too, or she might be white, or she might be Hispanic, or whatever she is. But I'm just as much a cheerleader for her as I am for the girl who is now the flavor of the month and everybody's talking about. Now she's as popular as she's ever been.
Well, she's not just the flavor of the month. She's on paper the fastest woman in America.
Okay.
So, I don't think not everybody can just, grab that title and flaunt it around.
Yeah, but being the fourth fastest
is would have found out if she was the fastest in the world, but we'll have to wait until next year for that. Even though, technically,
Maya, that's the rule. That is the rule. That is something that you're going to hate now, but when you have, this is what I told her. When you are a junior and you have freshmen come in and you see them, you're going to be looking at that freshman and say, okay, you know something? I know I hated that, and she probably hates that too. That's going to show me how much she wants it. Does she want to be here? Or is she going to let this rule that she has to follow keep her from being here, and now she's home doing something instead of part of this team? I talked to Maya, and I said, Maya, you have to be bigger than the team. I mean, you can't be bigger than the team. It's all about team. If y'all win, you win. I would leave volleyball games, and I hate to say this because her friends, if they listen, may be mad, but I would leave volleyball games, and Maya would be like, Dad, I'm the best player out there. Everybody else sucked, but I play good. I said, Maya, you know something? By the time you go to college, you will not be saying that anymore. You cannot be bigger than the team. If y'all lose, you lose. If y'all win, you win. You can't be bigger than team. So to tie this back in, it's the same thing. There was a rule that was in place, what was it, June, whatever, whenever they set that rule that said, hey, marijuana is on this list. Cocaine is on this list. LSD is on this list. All of these drugs are on this list. You cannot partake in these drugs if you plan to be in the Olympics. So it's not about, is marijuana not a, hey, do I indulge? I'm going to keep that to myself. So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. But what I'm saying is, if that is the rule, then that is the rule.
We're not debating.
We're not
that.
questioning the rule.
We're questioning.
You are questioning the rule.
We're
when
saying
you say,
going forward.
Why is
we're not questioning.
First of
why
all,
is a rule that's a drug that slow you down? That is questioning.
Okay, I don't run track, so I can't question the rule. I didn't break a rule. I still can question the rule as
you just said you were not questioning the rule. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, if I am questioning the rule. Why is it a rule? That's what I'm questioning. Why is that?
Did Muhammad Ali was subject to that rule, or did Muhammad Ali follow that rule? No. That rule just came into effect. I want to say in '97 or something like that. It was newly added to the Olympic.
Okay, well, so you're saying that.
Sometime in the late 90s.
You said, so what you're saying is that sometime, okay, so if this is true, then we're right. Then I'm on y'all side. If you're saying that in sometime in the late 90s, they said, hey, black people smoke weed, and so we're going to put this particular drug on there so that we can exclude the black players so that the white players can dominate.
Who said that?
I'm with you.
I'm not even saying that.
Who said
Anything
that?
short of that,
I'm
I
not
don't get your
saying that.
point.
Who said that?
What I'm saying is anything short of that, I don't get your point. Anything short of that, if anything short of, we're going to put this rule in place.
Let me see if I can explain and give me a minute and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Trey Love, and I'm going to take a shot at explaining his point. His point is the banned substance list should be comprised of substances that give you a competitive advantage or mask other substances that could give you a competitive advantage.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. If it's not going to speed you up, why the heck are you testing it?
Right. And I agree with that.
Makes no sense.
Even though in this instance, again, it's two sides to the equation. It's how you feel about how Sha'Carri was handled, and then it's how do you feel about the rule itself. So, hey, at the end of the day, because of name, likeness, image, she's going to be okay. She'll get endorsements. Financially, she's going to make some money this year. She'll be in the World Games next year, and she'll be in the Olympics in, 3.5 years? So we rooting for you. We pulling for you. And hopefully in 3.5 years, they'll have that marijuana off that banned substance list.
Okay, it just reminded me of a joke a comedian was talking about. He got a driving under the influence for smoking weed because he was sitting at a stop sign with his car running, and his joke was, "I was waiting till the stop sign turned green. I wasn't going nowhere, but he was under the influence."
Right.
So I'm saying the same thing. It didn't slow her down.
Right.
I mean, I'm
didn't
saying
speed her up.
it didn't speed her up. That's what I'm saying. It didn't speed her up. It
right.
slowed her down. So
Right.
it just makes no sense to me.
Right. Hey, and speaking of speeding up, did anybody see that the juice report on Camp Mayfield?
I did.
Did you? What did you think? What did you think about OBJ?
You know what? I just like they really didn't show anything other than the interactions, other than sports. That's what I liked about it. It was just.
They showed him running. They showed him running some posts, and running some deep routes. And Baker,
if you watched it, it was the same pattern like six times.
It was
the same pattern.
It was.
So
they're getting it down. They're getting it down. That's gonna be their money. That's money. You know what I'm saying?
But no, they wasn't.
They gonna wink at each other at the line of scrimmage, and that's money.
Listen, he wasn't running the same pattern. It was the same clip. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The thing,
no, it wasn't.
No, it was. They kept showing the same clip.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
the thing that I would say is that the excitement is very, very good. You know, everybody is very, very excited. And we are going into a season where, it's not smoke and mirrors. Like, we actually have a defense. It's not smoke and mirrors. We actually have an offense that has played together. We have an offensive line that is highly rated. We have 2 running backs that are very, very good. We have a quarterback. And I'm going to tell you this. Okay, so I didn't watch the Camp Baker Mayfield thing, but this is what I will say. Out of all of us in Northeast Ohio, I was born in 1966, which means I've been here for 55 years, and y'all have been here. Everybody's been here their own thing. Out of all of everybody in Northeast Ohio, the person that has the most to gain from the Browns' success this year is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield,
no doubt.
Right now, is probably okay, you're not going to be the highest paid next dude, but we're going to respect you with our offer. But if Baker takes his team, let's just say Baker takes his team to the AFC Championship game and they have the same situation like what happened in Kansas City. That's a whole different conversation for how much money we about to pay you, Baker.
Well, the bottom line is if Baker makes a Pro Bowl, he's eligible for a different tier of money. If he wins the MVP, he's eligible for a different tier of money. So there's accomplishments that you can make within your rookie contract that make you eligible for that next tier of money.
So here's why I say that the excitement is legit and it feels good. Because if you wanted somebody to be the most motivated player, Tom Brady was motivated last year. Who do you want? What position do you want to be the most motivated? If you rebuild your defense and you got a defensive coordinator that's coming back for the second time, if you have your offense that is intact, has been intact for the first time, who do you want to be the most motivated? Who pushes all the buttons and makes everything happen? It's the quarterback.
We know the quarterback is the most important position. But I'm going to tell you something. What I saw in that video, well, first of all, let me take a step back. There were a lot of questions during OTAs as to why offensive players weren't there. The defense had a very high attendance rate. In fact, I think everyone was there from the defense, or everyone that we expect to make the roster. On the offense, with J.C. Tretter being the NFL Players Association,
which haven't been a great thing for us.
Well, it is what it is,
right?
And I'll tell you what, this juice report is what makes it what it is, because you see these guys were together and they were working too. They were playing. There was some time to play, which I think is good, because one of the things that really jumped out to me on this is the camaraderie. And you know what? You can say, well, hey, how many touchdowns do you get for camaraderie? But this is what I'll say. Relationships run everything around you. And when you have teammates that are playing for each other, literally playing for each other, you my boy, so I'm going to lay this dude out so you can
I agree with that.
Run. You know what I'm saying? That's everything, man. That's everything. That's one of the keys to success. And you see that in this tape. I think one of the first things to jump out is basically everyone's there with the exception of Nick Chubb. All of the offensive skill position people, they were all there.
And what tripped me out is you said your boy Njoku was there.
Njoku was, them is his boys, man. You gotta, they was tripping, but you gotta figure like this. If you Njoku, you came into the league with these dudes.
He has to have a great season this season.
He should.
There is no reason why he does not have a great season, because the thing that's crazy about Njoku is the Browns like him.
Right.
He is saying, I want to leave, and the Browns are saying no.
Right.
You are here.
Well, you know what?
We got something for you.
We're going to make you encouraging. Let me tell you what's encouraging. Because it's hard.
Because he's a mismatch.
It's hard to tell as a fan, and I watch the games, but it's hard to tell how good of a blocker he is. But for the first time, I heard coaches and other players raving about the blocking he did last year. So if that being true, if that is true, that means he's gonna get more playing time, because that was always a knock on him. Well, so if you can put that guy on the field and it doesn't tip the defense that you're gonna run or pass, he'll be dangerous.
Well, Sean,
he will be dangerous.
You know how much YouTube I watch, and I keep hearing the people talk about how much his blocking improved. And I think getting back to why the offense is there. Why it wasn't there is not a big deal to me, because this is year 2 in the offense.
Right.
This is year 2 in the offense. And the defense usually has a better time getting on the same page than the offense does.
Uh-huh.
And you got the people that they brought in, you got Johnson, who's a leader. Then you got Walker at linebacker, who's the leader. So I think it's not a big deal that the offense not there. The big thing to me is that wherever they were together.
Right, and I didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but to me, it's a big deal to see that they were together, and it's a big deal to see that they were getting work in, and it was a big deal to see, like, how those guys all bond and get along with each other and kick it, but they could also get down to work. And also, one of the things that stood out to me is, obviously they were in Baker's hometown, they were at his high school, and Baker put all that together. But you know what though? Is the leader, is the guy like you were saying, D-Jack, just trying to get this $40 million a year contract. You should be doing all of that.
That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
he should. And I'll tell you what.
But
that's the thing about Baker Mayfield. So, in my opinion, Baker Mayfield made me mad with the Hugh Jackson thing, but that's me. But
he was immature at the time. He's grown up.
But I like Baker Mayfield. At that point, I'm gonna tell you the confluence of all that. When Baker Mayfield did that, maybe about 3 months later, or maybe even about 6 months later, that's when that boat that supported Trump overturned in his hometown. And so I was thinking, well, damn, this is where he's from? Because you've been telling me for a long time, no, Baker cool with the brothers. Baker this, that, and I've been like, yeah, okay, bro. Lake Travis is the name of the city. But, when I look at him, he is about team. He is that same dude that played for Oklahoma that second year, year that they beat
Ohio State up. And Ohio State had a cold secondary that year.
And here's the thing.
That secondary was cold. He was dropping dimes on them.
Here's the crazy thing about that, though. If you look at Baker Mayfield in his college football season, his college career, he had a different coach every year until he went to Oklahoma.
Right.
And that was his second year.
Yep.
Same situation here. Since he's been with the Browns, he's had a different coach. He's had a different thing until he got to Kevin Stefanski. and now this is his second year.
Right.
So everything is laid out for him to just have this season. And to me, I think Baker is a hell of a quarterback. Like, he is a quarterback who, if you ask me, Dion, you are starting a team and all you can do is pick the quarterbacks that are available right now. I'm not saying Baker would be first, but he definitely would be one of the top dudes I would pick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's a gamer.
I think he has the intangibles. He has those intangibles that that don't necessarily show up on a stat sheet, but that make him a gamer, make him somebody that you want on your team. And hopefully this season it can make us have a long playoff run that ends with a Super Bowl. But we'll see. We'll see. We got a lot going on this weekend, too. Did you hear about the UFC fights we got going on? Conor McGregor and Poirier?
I did not know that was tonight, actually. I did not know that was tonight, actually. I did.
Yeah. Oh, you know Greg Hardy's on that undercard. Wait, Greg Hardy's fighting Tavusi
Tavusi or something like that. He's from where he's from across the pond.
Yeah, so this should be a slugfest. Who
you talking about, Greg Hardy?
Yeah, Greg Hardy, the former defensive end.
For Dallas, he played for Dallas. He played for Carolina. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this ain't his first fight.
This isn't. I think he's had a pretty decent career so far in the UFC. So.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's put it this way: it should be an interesting fight tonight.
Is that the guy with all the guns?
I don't remember.
When he played with the Panthers.
He did play with the Panthers. He led the league in sacks that year, didn't he?
No, I mean when he got in that trouble, one of the things that got him in trouble because he had a bed full of guns.
I don't remember if it was a
I
bed.
think that sounds right.
He had a bed full of guns.
He got in trouble for like something with his woman and
yeah. She said she was scared that he was going to kill her because of the bed full of guns.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So my point is, if he loses the fight, just making jokes.
Hey, so what's funny about this though is as I was driving in, I looked at my alerts and it just said that Lamar Odom is now about to be a boxer. You know, he's working out to be a boxer, and it's something because
he had a fight 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Lamar Odom. So he didn't just start?
No. That was just like some sideshow stuff.
Oh, a real fight.
Yeah, he fought that singer Aaron Carter.
He beat up Aaron Carter.
Yeah,
wow.
That's like he might as well fought me.
It's funny because it's like that's everybody's second career. Like, okay,
are we talking about Kardashian?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a payday. It's a payday.
So now, did you hear about the tweet and with Tristan hitting back with? Did you hear about that part?
No, I didn't.
So Khloe Kardashian posted something on Instagram on one of these. So this is not 100% the story, but you're going to get the gist of it. And so Lamar Odom tweeted something like gorgeous or hey cutie or something like that. So Tristan snapped back at him. Tristan was like, wait, hold on, bruh. You survived one death. You ain't going to survive this one or something like that.
Hey, I ain't mad at him. Get at the boy T-Top. Let him know. She carrying his baby, ain't she?
They had one together.
Right, but I thought they were supposed to be having another one, and I thought she was pregnant. I thought she was carrying his baby.
But it is just so funny how...
Man, the Cavs should have never got rid of Tristan, man.
I got the tweet right here. Oh, what is it?
It says, at Lamar Odom, God brought you back the first time. Play if you want, different results. Thompson, who should...
There you go, Tristan.
Hey, what did Lamar say to Khloe that made him say that? What was the first part of it? You got it?
He was just being a weirdo on Twitter. He put like a bunch of like emojis and said hottie.
Oh, yeah, hottie. Yeah.
Tristan like, look here, player.
So imagine, there's probably like about 1,200 tweets in there, and that just happens to be that one that Tristan is going up and down his phone like, all right, let's see who tweeted.
Oh, no, I'm sure he keep an eye on certain ones.
It's that blue check. If you see that blue check, you pay attention.
He's like, wait a minute, hold on. So Zeke probably said, hey, nice picture. You know what I'm saying? It might have been, Kyrie might say, hey, you looking good, whatever. But that one with Lamar Odom, Tristan was like, wait.
That's right. That's what you're supposed to do.
Competition,
Tristan Thompson doing what you're supposed to do. That's right.
That is so funny, man.
Hey, that's your lady. She got your baby. she about to have another one, or she's having another one for you. That's right.
And they were married.
You check it.
The
That's
other-
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I hear that.
So I guess that's the fun part of social media.
Well. So, okay. So, and I usually don't do this, but since we talking social media, how about the way Rachel Nichols is getting drugged through social media, when really, at the end of the day, and again, you tell me what you think. And hey, if you listening, I want you to give me a call and you tell me what you think. 216-402-1315. Did Rachel Nichols really do anything wrong?
So
I mean, just let's put that question in the context.
Okay.
And before you answer it, I want you to think about it, because this is where I'm coming from. Nowadays in the media, people at home, listeners, no one wants to fact check. Everybody goes whatever narrative is pushed through the media. And so the narrative right now is to drag Rachel Nichols, I guess because Black Lives Matter, and she said she did not appreciate the situation with Maria Taylor. And,
I'm gonna let you talk first, Trey Love, because I'm gonna go for a while.
Somebody, tell me what she did wrong. Tell me what she did wrong, and once you do that, I'm gonna add another layer to it for you and give you an opportunity to peel that back.
I told you what I said.
No, you didn't tell me, dog. You didn't tell me, Trey. Tell me.
All I got of it is, yeah, I see it from a woman's standpoint, but don't let this black girl come and get my stuff. That's the last thing she said.
She never said any. She never identified
she didn't
anybody.
She didn't say black
race.
girl. I'm just talking from my perspective and my years as a black person, seeing that this is just the way I see it. And some people don't see it black and white. I grew up with one of my best friend's mother seeing everything black and white, so I kind of grew up that way as well.
He's talking about me.
So whenever I see a white girl saying, don't bring that stuff in my area, I'm thinking she's like, I'm a female too, but I'm also a white female. That's just my take on it.
Well, I'm not going to try and read into her words. I'll just go by her words. And the words that came out of her mouth, at no point spoke about Maria Taylor and her race. It only just said, she only said, I understand that ESPN has a crappy history with diversity. And so since everything that's going on now with the George Floyd situation, Black Lives Matter, now they want to try and show that they have diversity, but don't take my stuff.
Okay,
and to be honest with, hey, excuse me, 1 second, dog, 1 second. And to be honest with you, who wouldn't feel like that? That's the question I have for you. Who wouldn't feel like that? And keep in mind, she was on a private conversation when this happened. It's not like she went on her ESPN show, The Jump.
How many times have we talked about that, dog? How many times have we talked about that? So
you're right.
Trey, let me jump in here. Let me jump in
I
here.
just want to say one thing. When you say diversity, the heck are you talking about? You talking
we all
about
know
black
what
and
she's talking
we
about.
all know what
but
she's
still,
talking
what's
about.
wrong with it? But what's wrong with it?
No, you say she never said it. When you say diversity, you know what the heck she's talking about.
So let's say this.
That's a classy way of handling it.
Let me
How
say
else
this.
should she say it?
Let me say this, because I can speak for this personally, because I've actually met Rachel Nichols.
So have I.
I've actually, and I think both of y'all that I've met Rachel Nichols. And so I met Rachel Nichols, and to me,
And this really isn't about Rachel Nichols.
she
to be honest
seemed
with
like, no, it is. It
It
is.
is.
To
No,
me,
it's not.
it is. Because she seemed like to me that she was not a, whatever you would call a racist person. So let me tell you how I feel about it. And I'm going to respond to the clip that you sent me this week from Fox News. And so Fox News' angle on the whole thing is that the United States is now in so much of a cancel culture that you have to be careful whatever you say. And so their take was, and ESPN is one of these stations that whenever there's one of these cancel culture type of things, they jump on it. But now one of their own done got caught. And so what they do. So Maria Taylor
They
is
assisted
right
in the
now
dragging of her
getting
that's
ready
going on
to
now.
get one of the highest paid contracts ever for a female reporter. ESPN is about to pay her because ESPN is like, look, okay, we have been like this for the longest, and we don't want our own to. We have been calling people out so long, and now one of our good ones, as far as a great sideline reporter, as far as a great person that has a relationship with NBA players. Now one of our own is out there. Let's close rank and let's pay her and let's let this story go away. So hold. Let me just finish though with this. Okay. So now, like I said, I met Rachel Nichols. I drive Uber and Rachel Nichols. I picked Rachel Nichols up. I picked her up.
This isn't about Rachel Nichols.
Just let me. No, it is, dog. It is. It is about Rachel Nichols.
Bigger than that.
Okay, but let me tell you why it's bigger than. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. So I picked her up at the Starbucks on East 6, took her all the way out to Cleveland Clinic Courts. So I said, hey, this is my opportunity to talk to fucking Rachel Nichols. So I talked to her. We had a conversation the entire time. My conversation to her was, hey, Rachel Nichols, Tracy McGrady should not be an all-star. Now, she didn't come to me with a, hey, this is the basketball answer. She came to me with, this is my friend answer. She said, this is my friend. So what she showed me at that particular moment is it wasn't about black or white. It wasn't about anything. This is somebody who I'm going to stand up for, even though you're making a great point. And so, in my opinion, do I think Rachel Nichols is a racist? I don't at all. But what I do think is I think that when it comes to people's private conversations, you should not be punished for your private conversation. Well, the three of us is talking right now, and we on camera, and we got a PG of this. But the three of us has been on the telephone, and if somebody heard the conversations that we had on the telephone, they would be sitting up saying, "Wait, Deion Jackson is a racist, or Deion Jackson is a sexist, or Deion Jackson is whatever, ologist, or whatever like that." And all three of us, because that's our private conversation.
Right.
So your private conversation should not be. Let me just finish this last part, dog. So your private conversation should not be scrutinized. And so you said it's not about Rachel Nichols. It is, because right now she is being portrayed as a terrible person, and I can vouch and say that Rachel Nichols is not a terrible person because I've actually had a long conversation with her. And it's unfortunate, no different than the kid that played basketball for the Miami Heat, Miles Leonard. He was having a private conversation, and now this dude is no longer in the NBA. That's not right.
Well, hang on. That's why I said I wanted to peel this back, and that's why I say it's bigger than Rachel Nichols. But did you have something you wanted to say real quick about Rachel Nichols and Tracy McGrady, Trilla? I thought you were trying to say something then when he was telling that story.
No, only that they're friends. She's going to give their perspective because they work together. And,
okay.
You know, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, so the reason I say that this is bigger than Rachel Nichols is because the question is there a such thing as a private conversation?
There should be. I mean, if we're going by the Second Amendment or the First Amendment, the Freedom of Speech Amendment, that Freedom of Speech Amendment meant, hey, you can disagree with the government, because when they wrote that, you could not from the countries that they were coming from. So when you look at it from that's what it means.
Let me tell you why this is different. Looks like we have a caller here. Just hang on, calls. We know our lines are blowing up.
We're excited.
And everybody's got an opinion on this. Give us just a second. We'll get you in just 1 second. But what I wanted to say is the lines are getting real blurry on what's private and what's not. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take this call. We're talking sports. Who do we have on the line here?
Jersey Rock.
Jersey Rock. What you got for us?
You know, this whole Rachel Nichols thing, she didn't say nothing racist. You know, I don't care if it's private, if it's public. You know, you could say something.
You know what? Actually, I agree with you. I agree with you, Jersey Rock. I don't think she said anything. I think the whole
You know,
thing,
and the reality of it is
behind this.
there's all kind of diversity. There's diversity of thought. There's diversity in how we appear. And the reality of it is what you say in private does make you racist just because you didn't think nobody was going to hear. If I'm in private and I say, you know what, I'm going to kill 10 white people because they white, but then I don't never say nothing like that in public, then I'm still racist.
So if I were at a job and I said that, man, you know, they are going to hire these people because they are younger than me, does that make me against younger people, or does that make me say, hey, I see a red flag when it comes to my job? Because to me, that's
there's nothing wrong with that. You can say that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you said, I'm going to kill any of the younger people that they hire because they're younger,
she just said
I understand. What she said was basically they got a diversity problem. If they want to give her more work, fine, but don't give her mine. There is nothing wrong with what she said.
Exactly. Especially in a private conversation, or what you think is a private conversation. And really, where I wanted to go with that is
But I'm just making the point that if you are racist, just because you have that in a private conversation, that don't take away the fact that you're still racist because it was private.
Right. It doesn't. It doesn't. But and this may sound bad, you should have the ability to hide your racism in private conversations if that's who you are. Because so you have all of these leaks. You know, ESPN, and for those of you that don't know the story, during the NBA bubble, and thanks for the call, Jersey Rock. And during the NBA bubble, Rachel Nichols was in a hotel room that she was staying during the bubble, and that room is wired up, of course, by ESPN. And there was a mic on in her room, and she wasn't aware. So she was having a conversation with a peer of hers, someone that she works with, and she was venting about her frustration. And when you have a private conversation like that, so, okay, it happened that it got recorded. It happened. But the fact that recording got leaked out to the public is criminal behavior. It should be criminal behavior.
Now that I
and
agree
whoever
with
is responsible,
yes.
whoever is responsible
yes.
for that leak
yes.
should be charged criminally.
Yes.
Once you put that out here, once you put this out here into the universe, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. You've done unreparable damage to someone, and you need to pay for that.
So let's tie this into Miles Leonard then. So then, how do you feel about Miles Leonard? Because Miles Leonard was sitting on his couch. How?
That's different.
How, bro?
He was playing on live. So that's like what we're doing.
But he wasn't
right
at
now.
Work though.
It doesn't matter. He's playing. He's on live like we're online right now too. So we know we have to be responsible for what comes out of our mouth. He should have known that too. Let me tell you how I feel about it. I'm talking about private conversations, and you cannot have a private conversation when you're broadcasting live online.
This is utopia because it will never happen, and I get that. So I'm not saying that this is something that should happen. I'm just saying that this is what we should get. Okay, there should be rules in place in the workforce that says that you cannot discriminate against somebody based on whatever their category is. And those things do exist. But at the end of the day, we know that there are people that feel different about other people. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with me growing up in my neighborhood and not liking you because you live in this neighborhood. I didn't like people from Cleveland Heights.
Well, there is something wrong with that when you're in a position of authority. There is something wrong.
And that's why I said that utopia would be that if you can set rules that say that we can guarantee that nobody can discriminate based on race. If there are rules in place, which can't happen, those rules are in place, but we still know that racist people make decisions that are on both sides. And so my thing is, there's nothing wrong with not liking another person. We supposedly don't like people in Pittsburgh, or we supposedly don't like whoever our rival is, the Yankees
those
or
are sports
the Yankees
rivalries.
fans.
Look.
But what I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong. Here's my thing: there's nothing wrong with being a human being. There's nothing wrong with me not liking long eyelashes. There's nothing wrong with it. And if I say it, I shouldn't all of a sudden be slandered because that's my opinion.
If you were in a position of authority if you're in a position of authority,
and somebody walked in to get a job and they had long eyelashes and I didn't hire them,
then that's shame on you, and you're wrong. And if it became public, you would have to deal with that scrutiny.
But if
the
I
long
have to,
eyelash community would come after you.
But if this is an entry level
fierceness.
person, and I have to walk past her every day, why wouldn't I just say, instead of hiring person number 1, I'm gonna hire person number 2, who is maybe not as qualified but can do the job?
Well,
That's still discrimination, Deion.
it's discrimination, and it's so petty and silly.
But does it happen?
For a lot of
because-
stuff happens, but
just
that doesn't
because
make it
the
right.
company
That doesn't
still-
make it right.
And does the company still go on?
Just because it's still wrong. It's still discrimination. Just because you get away with it and it's done over and over again doesn't make it right.
That's my point. So there are laws in place that says, hey, you cannot discriminate, but we know there are people out here that discriminate.
It's a lot of laws in place. It's a lot of laws. It's a lot of rules. It's a lot of unwritten rules. I got an unwritten rule for you right now. Okay? A series don't start until the home team lose.
Ooh.
Is that the truth?
So here's
that
my
the
thing
truth?
on that.
Is that the truth?
Hey, all I gotta say is Giannis don't look like he got a bad knee to me.
He does to me. You know what?
42 points, a chase down block. Did
Right.
you see them putting
Look.
that back to back with LeBron's block?
Look.
Did you see that video?
I'm surprised.
Hold on, dog. Just answer my question. Did you see the video of them putting it back to back with
No,
LeBron's
I didn't.
block?
No, I
You
didn't.
gotta watch it. You gotta watch
I
it.
don't want to. I don't want
Dog,
to.
you would be amazed, bro.
LeBron's was crucial. LeBron's was clutch time.
You
It
won't-
was crucial.
You won't be doubting that knee. He did exactly the same thing that LeBron
Look,
James
this is
did
what.
on
Well,
that.
but he's 6'11" and he's got a 7'3"
I'm
wingspan,
about to put
so
it-
it doesn't take as much effort for him to do it. Look, Milwaukee is doing Giannis a disservice out there. That boy,
Why you say that?
I bet you he's taking some type of painkiller to deal with that knee every day, because it's
Bro,
like,
this is the NBA Finals. What are you talking about?
forget the NBA Finals, man. The boy 25. Don't you want to play until you 35?
Not when I get to the NBA Finals.
Nah, man, his knee messed up, man. His knee. Let me tell you something. If you haven't watched that clip, his
Bruh, when he was
his knee
when he was
bent
12
the
years
wrong way.
Bro,
His
when he was
knee-
12
his
years
knee-
old, what did he want to do? He wanted to get to the NBA Finals, bro. He's there on that stage. Are you crazy? What, bro? Allen Iverson would die on the court.
You ever heard of
if he had
depression?
to.
You ever heard of depression? Sometimes it just ain't your time. Ask Chris Paul. Ask Chris Paul.
I'm gonna go back to what you
But
just
this
said at
is
the
his
beginning.
time.
A series does not start until the home team loses.
Okay, so
I'm
what
gonna
you
go
think?
with that.
What's going down tonight? Is Milwaukee gonna get it done?
Milwaukee. This is what I think.
Because clearly, if they go down
Milwaukee
3-0,
close.
if they go down 3-0,
Milwaukee big, close game 5, and then that's when it's gonna be. I mean, that'll be game 5. Yeah, I got Milwaukee winning close. See, okay, let me tell you this, dog, and I hate to be long-winded, but this is what I love about the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs is I just got finished playing this team, and now I got to play you. So I don't know you first game. But by the third game, that's when I know you, and that's when you know me. So that's when it becomes chess. So you almost can throw out those first 2 games. Now, we done lived it. We lived it 4 years in a row.
I don't agree with that though. I don't agree with that.
But then
because
why
I've
do they
watched the
say?
games.
So then why do they say that the series don't start until the home team loses? Because that's exactly it. I just got finished playing this team. I don't know you yet, but by game 3, I know everything about you. I know your
I agree
sweet
with
spots.
that. That's true. That is true.
That's
true.
what make the NBA playoffs so cold.
But see, this is the thing, and it's just like, okay.
And he scored 42 points, bro. He scored 42 points last night.
I tell you what, because this is the bottom line. If Chris Middleton and Giannis show up, it is a different game. So we'll see. They're at home. They're at home.
I'm about to show you this video.
So they're at home, but guess who's not? Kevin Love and Darius Garland. Guess what they doing?
Playing with the U.S.
Who?
Playing with the
It is just so funny.
Playing with who?
So Darius Garland is not playing with. Darius Garland is the warm-up squad. So let's not overhype what he's doing. Kevin Love is on the Olympic
Hold
team.
on. But let's say who else has been on.
Kyrie was there, and that guy.
Kevin Durant was there.
Yeah,
Right. Kevin.
I'm
All
not-
great players go through that.
Right.
You on a select team at some point, then you make the big boy squad.
Right.
So I mean, I think it's good that both of them are there. But man, it's just like it's so crazy because the trade rumors surrounding the Cavs right now is just like everywhere, man. And guess in two things in common.
Is Darius on that?
Nah, I don't hear any trade rumors about him. Everyone I hear involves Colin Sexton and Kevin Love.
Okay.
And I think
that would be smart.
I agree. And I think it's at this point I've kind of reached a conclusion that neither one of them are going to be on the team next year. I'm dead set Kevin Love won't be on. We've seen the last of Kevin Love because either Kevin Love will be traded or he will be bought out. I firmly believe that. And with that, so you look at those being the two assets that they looking to move
To number one.
either to get to number one or to acquire another player. I've seen some trade reports where they're trying to package Kevin Love and Colin Sexton to trade to New Orleans for what's the point guard name that New Orleans has? Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Ingram. What do you think about that?
That was a good trade. That I don't know if so. Let's say
it again. Who?
So it was Kevin Love and Colin Sexton
and Nance.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And Larry Nance Jr. for
Bledsoe,
Eric
Ingram.
Bledsoe and Brandon Ingram from New Orleans. Because New Orleans is trying to basically reset the cast that's around Zion right now.
And Indiana is involved in it also. And
They
Indiana
was, but they were just basically swapping Miles Turner for Adams.
for
And then
Steven
they were,
Adams.
for Steven Adams, and then they were also going to get that number 10 pick from him as
The
well.
number 10 pick. So that trade works for everybody. But here's the thing though. Right now, these are just rumors.
They are.
So you can't bite in anything now. So here's my thing. That trade was great for the Cavs. But why do you feel like Kevin Love is not going to be here? Like right now, just let me finish, dog. Right now, all these are there may be agents involved in this. Because agents, they know how to make the money there. But right now, these are conversations amongst reporters. These are reporters saying, hey, you know what would be a good deal for this, that, and the third. But I find it very hard that Indiana, Cleveland, and New Orleans is having these conversations right now.
Well, I don't find it because let me tell you something. Since he's been here, Kobe Altman ain't did nothing slick. And what I mean by that is his moves you see coming. You know what I'm saying? And when I say you see him coming, you see him in the media. You see him in the media coming. So
Drummond coming here was that? No.
Well, that was different though because that was at the trade deadline, and it was.
No, I'm not.
Hold on a second. Listen, it was a lot of rumors of Drummond being moved, but when he got moved to Cleveland for 2 second-round picks, it was kind of like, okay, y'all couldn't get nothing else for him. So that just doesn't really qualify. But like I said,
You
all
are
of
his,
his
you
moves.
are his biggest critic.
You think I'm his biggest critic?
Yes.
Look. Do I got to recap what Kobe Altman has done for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
No different than what anybody else would do.
He traded Kyrie Irving. What we get for that?
Dan Gilbert traded Kyrie Irving.
Dan Gilbert's the owner. Kobe Altman's the general manager.
Just got the job. Wasn't even in the job 10 days.
What do you mean he wasn't in the job 10 days?
He had just became general manager when that deal went down. So
maybe he should have waited and did his due diligence before he pulled the trade.
Or maybe the owner told him this is a trade you're going to make.
Do you have some inside scoop that says Dan Gilbert did that trade? Because everything I read says Kobe Altman executed the trade.
Who is the
he is the general manager,
Who is the general
right?
manager of the New Jersey Nets?
Sean Marks.
Okay, and who is the owner? The Russian billionaire.
No, he sold it. I can't remember the guy. I think the guy that owns it now is got something to do with Amazon or something. I don't remember.
No, I think the Russian dude is still the Nets owner.
Okay, where you going with this?
My point is that the owner made that trade. Steve
That's your
Ballmer.
point.
Who is
because the
who
New
is
York
the-
Jet because the Nets have an owner.
I'm saying that in the NBA, I'm not saying that general managers like a Danny Ainge or when Barry Bird was a general manager, he was doing it, or Pat Riley.
What about signing?
does it.
What about
But I'm
signing
saying-
Kevin Love to this extension? Huh?
Joseph Tsai,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not. Yeah,
some Asian dude.
yeah.
Oh, that's the owner of the Nets.
Oh no, you know what it is? He has Alibaba. He owns Alibaba.
Alibaba, Jackie Ma.
Jackie Ma owns Alibaba.
What does he own then?
Joseph Tsai, he is. Yeah, those are two different dudes. Hold on.
My
Okay,
only
and
point-
it
my only
doesn't really
point-
matter.
My only point with Kobe Altman is post LeBron
He
James.
signed Kevin Love to this extension that we're trying to get rid of now.
Post LeBron James, your goal.
Dan Gilbert has acquired
Dog, let me
all
just-
of these
Let me
players.
just finish this.
Hold on, let me just finish this list. Let me
Okay.
just add this list up real quick. He acquired all of these players from Matthew Dellavedova to John Henson to Brandon Knight. And each time he did this, he was absorbing contracts, bloated Hold on a second, dog. He was absorbing bloated contracts,
So let's
but
look
he was
at
taking.
So
a
let's look
draft
at the
pick
Lakers. So let's
in
look at the
return
Lakers
for
post,
doing that.
Let's look at the Lakers
And what did
post
Kobe
LeBron.
Altman do? What do we have to show for
look
that
at the Lakers
right now?
post LeBron James.
What do we have?
Look at the
I'll tell you
Lakers
what
post
Houston
LeBron
has.
James.
They have Kevin Porter Jr.,
Wow.
who is what we had to show for it, but he wears a Houston Rockets
Kevin Porter
jersey
Jr.
now.
is not a name yet. He's not a name yet.
But he's one of the better players that we had.
No,
here.
he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Who else?
He had-
Who else?
he had
Who else?
two
Did
games.
who else did we draft to score 50 points in an NBA game?
Here's
Who
what
else
I-
did we draft to
Dog,
score 50 points
listen
in
to
an
me,
NBA
listen to
game?
me. If you look at the Lakers after Kobe Bryant, they was a mess. That's what happens in the NBA. You look at the Knicks. You look at the Knicks
that's not
after
rationale.
You look at the
That's
Knicks
not
after
rationale.
Patrick Ewing. They were a mess. That is the NBA. As
That's
a
not
general
no,
manager,
that's not how.
what general manager hits? So you say the Phoenix Suns is a good team. Their general manager.
LA is not a good example because when Kobe
get
left,
free agents.
Kobe was gone, what, about a year? And then LeBron came.
No, he was gone more. than
What, 2 years?
LA
and they
LA builds
stank.
through free agency every time
But
anyway
my
because
point-
it's a
that's- my
destination.
point am I making
So
is
you can't
this.
compare us to LA.
This dude bought three. This dude has drafted 3 young players, and he's built this team around him. Now he has a number 3 overall pick. Now is when you start grading him. Now he's had 3 years to draft 3 players. He has a number 3 pick. Now his clock starts. Everything he did
clock
before
started
that,
when he got the job. That's when my clock starts.
it is so funny how the Browns can reset the table. And everybody loves the Browns. Oh, Freddie Kitchens is going to be the greatest coach ever. Oh, this, that, and the third. And then it falls. And now it's Kevin Stefanski. Oh, Kevin Stefanski is going to be the greatest coach
it's
ever,
the
whatever,
same-
whatever.
it's
But
the
with
same
the Cavs,
difference.
the Cavs are in the same thing. They had to tear it down. They had to absorb contracts. They had to survive to be in the NBA. Now they got to the point where they have 3 dudes that they've drafted, and now they got the number 3 overall pick. Now he becomes a general manager.
You acquire Andre Drummond, and then in the middle of the next season, you acquire another center.
You don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves can be saying the same thing? You don't think the Philadelphia 76ers
Kobe
was saying the
Altman
same
doing?
thing? You ain't saying that when
Is he gonna build a team of centers?
Anthony
Was
Davis
that his
left
goal?
Indiana.
I want
When
5
Anthony
centers.
Davis left New
We're gonna be the
Orleans,
tallest team out
you wouldn't
there.
be saying the same thing.
That boy's good.
Right.
So, all right, well, we got jokes, but at the end
We
of
got
the
the
day,
tallest team in the
this is the
NBA.
NBA.
I mean, we're not gonna win.
This is the NBA. Some teams can do it quick. Some teams can't. Look at the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks had the best record in basketball. They fell down. They got Trey Young. Now they in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what in basketball.
It's about when you rebuild. It's about the decisions of the general manager. And the point I'm trying to make is Kobe Altman has made bad ones up to this point.
How can he make bad ones, bruh?
I just gave you all those examples.
Versus who? Okay, so name
He's the only one with the job. Who else can I compare him to?
other general managers in the NBA.
Okay,
that you can
compare
be
him to
critical
Atlanta.
of all of them.
Compare him to Atlanta's then.
Yeah, and weren't they just in
tore
the
it
Eastern
down.
Conference
They
Finals?
got
They got a top pick, and now they in. So Kobe Altman now has his pick. If you look at the Atlanta Hawks before Trae
It's not
Young,
just the pick.
you would be saying,
It's
what
not
were
just,
they doing?
It's not just about the pick. It's what you do with the other parts around you, the free agents, the mid-level exceptions, the people you bring up from the G League. That's how you build an NBA team today.
If you are the new
fans a superstar.
If you are the Brooklyn Nets and you decide,
we're not
hey,
a
I'm
free
going
agency
all
destination.
in,
You have to build
I'm
your
going
teams
all in,
differently than
then you
New
can
York
go out
or
there
LA
and
team.
you can spend over money and you can pay luxury tax. If you're not, if you are the Sacramento Kings, you can't do what Brooklyn did. And so we are the Sacramento Kings.
Of course. Right. Utah Jazz, Atlanta Hawks. And my point is, other organizations are doing it, and they're building teams because they have a general manager that know what they're doing.
And we are too. And that's what I'm saying. That this
all
is
of his
year one.
moves, none of his moves has worked out. That's my point. What move has he done since he's been in that seat?
Bruh, we got
out?
Baker Mayfield.
So you want to talk football now?
We got Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, and Nick Chubb with three picks. With in the top 33 picks, we got Denzel Ward, Baker Mayfield, and Nick Chubb because of the fact that we tore our team down and now we have a team. The Cavs did the exact same thing, and they drafted high, and now they got the number 3 pick. They had to be buffoonery in order to get to this spot. If they were making the playoffs, we wouldn't have a number 3 pick.
If that
So
was
now,
the place you don't want to be is with bad contracts. And unfortunately, during this rebuild contract, now we're saddled with bad contracts. And I blame that totally on Kobe Altman. But we do still have he has a chance to wiggle himself out of this. He's got the number 3 pick. He has assets he can move. He has decisions that he needs to make, and that's going to dictate the future of this franchise for the next 5 to 7 years. So you want to talk about hot seat? You're in the hot seat, Kobe Altman, and we'll see you next week on We're Talking Sports.
Man, that was an hour.
Later.